breaking profit, and this is a tough video to make. Never thought that I would be making this video. It's not April Fool's. This is something that actually happened. It's going to be story time. I'm going to share a story of what happened the other day at the thrift store, and this was a first for me. I have never had this happen to me before, never thought it would happen to me before, but it did. So the other day I was at Goodwill, and to be honest, I haven't really been frequenting the thrift stores very often. I do mostly eBay to Amazon flips, so most of the items that I pick up now, 95% of them, I buy them online. I buy them on eBay. They show up to my door, you know, once a week. Typically on Saturdays, we box them all up. We ship them out to Amazon FBA, and that's how I've been doing around $50,000 a month. Well, a couple days ago, I walked into my local Goodwill thrift store after going to the gym, just like a day like today. I'm actually in the parking lot, just leaving the gym. And I was in the thrift store, and I was scanning books, and I only had a couple books. I wasn't finding much. It was early, so I don't even think they had put out the books yet. And I had a couple books in my hand, and I had an older lady point at me and say, "Hey, aren't you that guy on TikTok? Aren't you that guy on TikTok?" And I said, "Yeah, I have a TikTok." She says, "I just wanted to let you know that what you're doing, buying books from the thrift store, you're stealing from the poor." She literally told me I was stealing from the poor. Now, I do want to say this lady was a bit older. So to be perfectly transparent, I didn't argue with her. Like, I just said, I said, okay. Like, I just acknowledged it. I'm like, "I'm sorry you feel that way." And I just walked away. But she was chirping at me even when I was walking away. And I was like, this lady, she's probably like 70 something years old. Like, I'm not going to argue with her. But I thought to myself, I looked around, and there was nobody in the book section. There wasn't anybody even scanning books besides me. There wasn't even anybody looking for books. And I looked around the shelves because I just turned around. I'm like, there's like 10,000 books on the shelf. How am I stealing from the poor? I don't understand. Like, are all the poor people at the thrift store looking for books? I just couldn't understand it. And then when I left, I kind of had this thought, like, maybe I should have said something, but I'm like, you know what? This lady's probably in her 70s. Who knows? I don't know what's going on. Nothing against her age or anything, but I'm not gonna, I didn't want to disrespect her in a sense. Like, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm also entitled to my opinion, but I'm thinking to myself, she thinks that I'm here stealing from the poor. So all the poor people, whatever you want to define poor as, they're all fighting to get into the thrift store to buy books. I mean, has anyone ever had a situation where a quote-unquote poor person, right? Whatever you want to call that. I assume she's thinking a poor person's probably someone who doesn't have much money. They're really struggling. Maybe they're having a hard time paying their bills. Maybe they can't even pay their rent, and they're thinking to themselves like, "Man, I'm poor. I can't even afford to pay my rent. Food costs is up. Inflation's up. Like, man, like, I need to go to the thrift store and buy some books." I just thought to myself, like, I'm stealing from the poor. So I'm going into a thrift store with thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of books. And there's hundreds of books coming out every single day. And out of maybe, I don't know, 10,000 books that are at that thrift store, I might leave with sometimes 4 or 5 books. It's not like it was in 2015, guys. I mean, maybe you've got yourself a honey hole. But where I am, and I'll be honest, I don't even thrift anymore as much as I used to. So, but I know my mom goes thrifting every day, and I go from time to time. And I went the other day, and I thought to myself, like, man, I don't have to deal with this BS when I'm doing eBay to Amazon flips, having to deal with people's stupid opinions. So she literally thinks I'm stealing. I'm stealing from the poor, although I'm buying a book. The book's $1. There's 9,999 other books. How the hell am I stealing from the poor? And it's crazy. The funny thing is, when I post videos on TikTok and Instagram Reels, those videos get freaking tons of views. I just had a video I posted the other day. And I always post videos with my mom and stuff. It's funny, like I could share my life work of like reselling and all my knowledge on like TikTok and Instagram. Nobody cares. But I show a video of my mom and it gets, you know, there's a video the other day I posted. It's got 1.4 million views. There has to be at least 40 or 50 comments of people saying the same exact thing as well. What you're doing is unethical. You're stealing from the poor. Poor people are looking to buy those books. That's not right. And I laugh because I'm like, when have you ever gone to a thrift store and there's a line of poor people, right? Whatever you want to define that as, just dying to get books. When's the last time you've been in a thrift store? Just imagine this. You go in a thrift store and there's like 20 or 30 poor people. They're all fighting to try to get that. They're trying to get that, you know, that rare book. They're looking for that, you know, microbiology textbook. They're fighting for that geometry book, right? Man, it drives me nuts when I go into the thrift store and like a lot of times, like, and I feel really bad at, like, for the homeless people, but it's just like, imagine them all in the thrift store fighting for books. What the are you talking about? What are you talking about? Sometimes I think people just talk out of their you-know-what with no idea what they're talking about. If it wasn't for us resellers, these thrift stores probably wouldn't even be around. God only knows how many items we're actually buying from these thrift stores. Oh man, I just had to share that story with you guys. Josh says, it's like that everywhere though. I've ran into the same situation buying clothes at Goodwill. That's crazy. I mean, poor people, I keep putting quotes on it because it's like, you want to know who's to blame? You guys are calling everybody, not you guys, but this person, like, you're calling everybody at the thrift store poor? Like, what are you talking about? First of all, a poor person probably couldn't even afford the stuff at the thrift store anymore because they're raising the prices so much. Josh says, what if a poor person buys the same book with the intent to make money to survive? Are they stealing too? Yep, they're stealing, Josh. Jared says, the amount of money Steve makes is directly proportional to the amount of value he creates for others. Hey, I appreciate it, Jared. It's also equal to the amount of, people I steal from. Jarkadi says, shame on you, Rakin. Josh says, aren't you literally buying the books? Yeah, no, I'm actually stealing them. And then I'm selling them to the poor for more money, Jason. Jason says, you did. From vulnerable poor people trying to make a living reselling, you took their business away by making videos. Oh my gosh. What's up, Sabrina? Good morning. Jarkadi says, I'm so glad hecklers never bother me. Yeah, exactly. Jason says, you know who Tino is? Yeah, oh, I know Tino. We did a program together back in the day. Tino's the man. Tino is the shoe flipping king. Tino actually, back when we did our program together, I think in 2017, 18, he was doing a couple $100,000 a year flipping shoes from thrift stores. He's out in the Texas area. But yeah, I know there's people, they fight for the shoes, they fight for the clothes, they fight for the books. But yeah, just wanted to share this story with everybody. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to drop a comment down below. Right now, I'm actually going through something with Amazon. I don't know if anyone has been dealing with this, but for anyone who sells on Amazon, man, send to Amazon, their new program, it sucks. I have had multiple issues, multiple shipments stuck, multiple issues that I can't even process. I've got one shipment with probably $5,000 worth of inventory sitting in a box from 3 weeks ago that I can't finish. A case has been opened. They're moving me around to different people. I had another one last Saturday. I couldn't even finish my shipments because sent to Amazon is just absolutely terrible. And who here has had to deal with Amazon's customer service? Oh my God, terrible. So, oh my gosh. But I don't know if anyone's doing send to Amazon, or if you are, I'm sure you are. It is brutal. Steve, is there a way to see which items won the buy box and when? Mine show 1% sometimes. So I use Bqool for my repricing. So you could actually go in and see the percentage that you're winning the buy box. But I believe on the Amazon dashboard, it will only show you your buy box win percentage for your new items. So, you know, mine usually shows like, I think 8 or 9%. When I used to do a lot of used items, it would be like 0 or 1%. I don't know how accurate that is, but if you have Bqool, you can see your buy box win percentage on a per ASIN basis, which is really helpful. And this is something I've trained my team to do. We'll go through our inventory and we'll look for items that aren't winning the buy box, and we'll price a bit more aggressive because we know the better we have a better chance of selling an item the more often we win the buy box. So yeah, you definitely want to, you know, make sure you're paying attention to that. But again, from my understanding on the Amazon dashboard, I believe you're only going to see your buy box wins for your new products. Does that show your history also? That's a good question, Mark. I don't know, but I'm sure you could click into it and see if it would share that with you. And I'm not sure. I need to find out this answer. I think I read something recently too that the buy box win percentage that Bqool shares with you, it might only be over the last 24 hours, which I need to find out as well. I should know that. Maybe somebody could verify that with me. Marcellus is not surprised at all. I can still find great items they overlook. Yeah, there's still a ton of great items at the thrift stores. And, you know, the more niches, the more categories you're engaged in, the more products you could sell, the more items you scan, the more items you look up, the more times you reach around and, you know, you look behind there, you look for the new carts coming out, the more library sales, thrift stores, relationships you build, the more opportunities you're going to have. And I actually had a friend reach out who follows me on social media. He told me, he said, hey, I see you've been buying a lot of my eBay items. Let's do a deal behind the scenes and we'll send you like a pallet or bulk DVDs. So that was a relationship I built, which I'm really looking forward to. I don't know why I shared that, but it just came up in my mind. Build relationships, post on social media. What's up, Paula Sheck? Good to see you. Oh, Mark says I got ungated in Lego finally. Yeah, getting ungated in Lego is huge. For anyone doing eBay to Amazon flips, you can make a lot of money buying items from Lego and flipping them to Amazon FBA. I love flipping items from Lego. I would love to do a whole segment on that because I don't do a ton of Lego just because they do sometimes go for a little more than I would like. But, you know, I definitely buy, you know, multiple Lego sets per week flipping from eBay to Amazon. You just got to be careful. They're in good shape. They're actually sealed. There's no dents and whatnot. And, you know, you want to make sure there's a little more margin in your Lego just because I found that they could easily get damaged during shipment. Returns might be a little bit higher just based on the type of people you're dealing with, like younger kids and stuff. They could open it up, take out the minifigures, return it back. Although I'm really happy to hear that Amazon's making some changes with the buyers not being able to abuse the return so much, because right now it is not right. I feel that a customer could just return an item for any freaking reason. It's not like a retail store where there's limited downside because the person's having to come in and drop it off and return it. Like if a customer returns it, not only do I risk them damaging the item and destroying the value, which I guess is the same at a retail store, but now I have to pay for shipping back. So for you to ship the Lego back to the Amazon warehouse, that's $5. And then if it's not in the condition I wanted, I need another $5 to ship it back to me. Come on, that's ridiculous. That's not right. There's got to be some fairness here. But at the end of the day, let's just be honest, our balls are in Amazon's hands and they can rip them off anytime they want. Excuse my language, but it's just the way it is. They have plenty of sellers, plenty of people supplying inventory, and it's their sandbox and they make the rules, and they're more concerned with making their customers happy than making their suppliers like us. We're a supplier for Amazon because we feed them all the inventory, but they're more concerned with making their customers happy, which I understand. Their brand's very important. Hey, appreciate you, Mark. So yeah, guys, just want to share that story with everybody. And Mark is saying, you ever go back and eat at your old Cracker Barrel? Hey, from time to time, I definitely go back there and check it out. Those, what are those? The hash browns with the onion in it. Oh, those things were good. Corn on the Cob Rob says, I've been getting new DVDs sent back to me open saying it's a defective. I'm guessing I'm a Blockbuster now. Yeah, it's crazy. In all honesty, you know, I do a lot of DVDs, thousands of them. You know, we're selling, I don't know the exact number, but we're selling like between 1,200 to 1,500 items a month in my Amazon business. I think it's like at 1,300 the last 30 days. It's probably 1,000 of those were probably DVDs. Probably going to do over 10,000 DVDs in 2023. And it's less than 5% of my DVDs get returned. I wish I had the metric in terms of like, I don't know, say out of 10,000 DVDs, I had, let's see, 10% would be 1,000. So maybe like 400 or 500 get returned. Out of those 400 or 500 for the year that get returned, what percentage of them actually get put back into my inventory because they're in good shape and sell, versus how many are actually opened up and destroyed the value? I don't know that answer. I'd probably say, probably like, I'm just guessing here, probably like 2%, like probably a little less than half of the returns are like people open it, destroy it. So it's not a ton. And that's the thing I love about DVDs. Like the return rate is very low compared to like maybe like toys or maybe video games or especially electronics. Those clothing, shoes, those will be much higher in terms of return rate. DVDs are pretty low, you know, and I've been tracking my return rate for a long time. It comes out to around 5%. I am mostly new DVDs, and I am mostly sourcing from eBay to flip on Amazon. So, you know, I'm cherry picking the right items, and a lot of them are discontinued. They're not mass produced. So I feel like people who buy them are more likely to keep them. They're not just some like mass produced junk. I don't know. It's just a theory that I have. But yeah, it's a little unfair sometimes. All right, guys. Well, it looks like that's all the questions we have. I just want to say I appreciate you guys. Much love, and have yourselves a beautiful day.